So today I'm gonna talking about Rust function. So I'm gonna jump right in and write Rust function. To write a Rust function, we're gonna enter a keyword fn, means a function, followed by a function name. I'm gonna call it a function. It's just a name, and a set of parentheses, and then a bracket. Alright, look at this function name. Rust code uses snake case as the conventional style for function, and of course for variable names, in which all letters are lowercase and underscore separate words. Alright, a function can have parameters or arguments or whatever you want to call it. Right. And for every parameters, you need to declare its type. So, but in this case, I don't want to add any parameters. So I'm just gonna go ahead and print line, hello world. And in the main function, I'm gonna call this function. So let's run it. Okay, it worked. And next case, I'm gonna try to add some parameters. I'm gonna add an x, and I'm gonna assign it type as a 8-bit signed integer. Alright. In this, I'm gonna pass in number 5, then run. So it should print out the value of x is 5. So another thing, if the function is void, like this function, means that it doesn't return anything. So you don't need to add any return type. So this is a return type I. So this is how you declare a return type. But in this function, I didn't return anything, so I don't have to write any return type. But for the next case, I want this function to return a 8-bit signed integer. 8. Alright, I want to make this function just return x. No, I want to add on. Okay, I'm gonna add and have another variable. I'm gonna call it a temporary variable. I'm gonna add on to it. Alright, I'm gonna return this temporary variable. I'm gonna rename it add on. And this code looks fine, and I'm gonna try to run the code. My number is 6. Great. Okay, again, so if you want to return something in your function, you must declare the return type. So what happens if I delete this type and run the code? Of course, it will throw some error here. See? Mismatch type. Right. Next, one thing we need to know that a Rust function must be defined only once, and we can't define two functions with different parameters input. Like this. See, everyone must be defined only once. Right? While many other programming languages can do that, such as Java or C#, but in Rust there's no such thing. So I'm gonna delete this. And coming up next, I'm gonna let's talk about expressions a little bit. What is an expression? So I'm gonna give you some example. 1 plus 1 is an expression. And a new value is number 2. See? 1 equal 1 is an expression. It returns true. Or even just a number, like number 5 is an expression. And expressions meant to create a new value. Another thing, in Rust, expression can be written in a bracket like this. The code should be working. 1 plus 1 should be working. So any expression can be written in a bracket in Rust. Now I'm gonna have another example. So I'm gonna have a variable called y, just y. I'm gonna make this as an expression. So in this expression, I'm gonna have another variable called x equals 3, and then I'm gonna declare the expression like x plus 1. So this is the expression, and the value of y right now should be number 4. I'm gonna run the code. Okay, that's the interesting part of Rust, that you can write logic in the bracket and then return an expression and then assign the expression, the result, to the variable. So that's everything about expression. So let's get back to our Rust function, and I'm going to talk about another interesting part of Rust function is that Rust will return the value of the final expression, just like this one, in the block of the body of the function. While you can use return keyword and then specify a value like this, you can actually do this. Right, return the last expression implicitly in the bracket, just like this one. And there shouldn't be any semicolon after the value. Okay, this code should be working. This is an expression, so I can do this, even this, right? So this is an expression. I'm gonna run its code again and see. Yeah, it's still the same. And I'm gonna go ahead and add another function with expression. I'm gonna write it as get 5. I'm gonna return a i8 number, return number 5, and here I'm gonna get 5. And my code should be still working. Okay, and that is everything about Rust function.